Hello and welcome to episode 27 of Talking Baldocks. Now, for those keen listeners out there, you might have thought that's not Neil starting it, and that is because Neil is spending some time with the family, half term, and the whole reason we have a business is obviously to be able to spend time with our family. So, I wanted to still record a podcast this week, and as it is called Talking Baldocks, I had a think, and I did remember that me and Neil aren't the only Bulldogs in a state agency anymore. So, I would like to introduce to you Mr.
Yeah, Freddie Bulldog. How's everyone?
Freddie Bulldog. So, Freddie, as I'm sure many of you know, is my eldest son, Neil's nephew, and the first of the next generation of Bulldog boys. There are five of them in total, but Freddie is the oldest. So, hey, Fred, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Matthew, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's still Dad. And thank you, first of all, for it being half term and you getting out of bed. So, I do appreciate it.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Actually, that's a little bit unfair of me because you've got a very good work ethic, which I do want to come on to a little bit later. So, yes, gonna have a bit of a chat, and I thought we could do things a bit differently this time because Freddie has maybe got a bit of a unique perspective on a state agency, having grown up with his dad, his uncle, working in them and then running one, and now working in the businesses himself. So, first question, Freddie, is how lucky do you feel to have such a fantastic father?
Yeah, it's amazing. It is
Good.
amazing.
Okay, fine. But no, in all seriousness, and I don't know because we actually haven't prepped this before, as people can tell by me bumbling on. Obviously, so I've been an estate agent ever since you were born. When you were very first born, I worked for an estate agency, and then when you were around 5 years old, we started Charles David Casson. So you don't really remember that part. But do you have any recollections, or did you even acknowledge what me and Neil did as a job? Did you have any kind of preconceptions of a state agency before you came to join us?
No, the truth is, I thought you used to build houses. I remember it because when I was in year one, you came in and you gave a presentation to my class, and my teacher was just drawing this house, and I wasn't really listening. And so what I gathered was that you built houses, but no, I don't understand you don't build houses anymore.
No, I think I can't build anything.
No, no, that's true. But
Fair
that's
enough. And actually, if anyone wants to step out their comfort zone, go and do a presentation to about 30 year ones.
It was a good
Yeah.
presentation. It was a good presentation, but yes, all I really remember my teacher. She was just draw. I think she was drawing her house maybe, and
Okay. So, I mean, do you know what age you realised I didn't build houses and I actually
no,
started
yeah,
doing
no, I understand that. And then yeah, as I got older, I understood. Sort of started to understand what you did. I thought it was just selling houses, but as I get older and I see your advertisements, I understand it's not just about selling houses anymore. It's about helping people. Helping people get to the next stage of their life.
Nice, yeah, good. Well done. You've read the handbook. Um, okay, and so fine. Listen, I think in honesty, you didn't really understand what it did, and you weren't really that bothered. And then your introduction to agency probably. So you came to do work experience with us, which was largely because you couldn't be asked to arrange to do it anywhere else. Is
Yeah,
that
that's true.
correct?
That's true. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Fine, okay. And then you needed a Saturday job. And in fairness to you, I didn't actually offer you a job straight away. You applied for pretty much everything in Chelmsford first of all, didn't you?
Yes. Yes.
And how have you found how did you find it difficult finding a job?
Yeah, it's finding a job is it was very very difficult. Luckily, I've managed to get the Saturday job, but um, no, it just seems quite hard for people to get a job at the moment. Well, for people my age.
Because there is a big thing out there about how hard, saying it is hard for people to get jobs, but rather than people just kind of talking about theory, it actually was you applied to pretty much every restaurant, fast food place in Chelmsford and just couldn't get.
Yeah, I emailed through Indeed, but then also I basically called every single restaurant. My phone was just restaurants in Chelmsford. It looked like I was a bit greedy, but no, just trying to find a job. But it's very difficult for people my age. I know people who are struggling to find jobs my age in college at the moment.
Okay. I want to, there's a point you just made there about calling people. I want to come back onto that. So, okay, so we fast forward a bit, and so good old dad and Uncle Neil came to the rescue. We need somebody on Saturday to help us answer the phones and open doors and things like that. So you've been with us now for just over a year.
Yeah, February. Yeah, February 2025. Yeah,
Okay, good. So yeah, you obviously you've stuck with it, enjoying it.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. I quite enjoy answering the phones, so that's
Okay,
something I can do
yeah,
well.
that is your bit. And while we've kind of got a bit of an audience, we can maybe call out Uncle Neil here. We'll just mention the fact that you've been with us for a year, but I don't think you've had your anniversary lunch yet, have you?
No, no, everyone at Charles Castle gets an anniversary lunch. She took someone to Freddie to Banana Tree the other day, and I haven't even had a McDonald's yet. So
Fine. So we need to start a public campaign for Freddie to get his anniversary lunch.
no, seriously, because it's now April.
Okay, fine. Listen, mate, it's your uncle. You know he's a bit tight with the wallet, so we need to sort that out. All right. And so back to a slightly more serious point. Since you've been here for the last year, what what is your kind of perception now of estate agents and letting? Because you do a lot with the letting side of things. You know, a lot of people think all we do is swan around showing people houses and that's it. But how has your perception either changed or obviously you didn't really have one before, so your feeling about what we actually do in this in this profession?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you do. There's a lot of viewings, but as I said earlier, I've sort of understood that it's about moving people on to the next stage of their life. There's many different phone calls from many different people in different professions. You know, healthcare, teaching, and they're all getting different things: upsizing, downsizing. You're trying to move in with their partner, trying to move out from their family. It's just, but what I've managed to understand is that it's just you Charles David Casson try to help people uh, move on to that next stage of their life, and I believe you do it very very well.
Thanks. There's no pay rises coming here, so but yeah, yeah, no, the government keep doing that for you.
No,
Yeah, minimum wage has gone up twice since we've employed Freddie. Um, so what's your favourite bit of what you get to do? What's the bit of the job you enjoy the most?
the job I enjoy the most, probably it is probably calling people with inquiries. I don't want to big myself up, but I believe I do have quite good phone skills. So yeah, I enjoy uh, that part of it.
Okay. And you've been out and done a couple of viewings?
Yeah, yeah, I've done a commercial viewing and then I've done a actual property viewing. They've been, I think I was pretty good at it. You know,
Yeah.
they were very happy. But no, I've done a few viewings as well, and they're good as well.
Would you prefer being out on a viewing or doing the phone calls?
No, I'd probably say phone calls because I've done more phone calls than I have viewings.
Okay,
Um, yeah, I'd probably say the phone calls.
fine. And is there anything that's kind of surprised you about the job that you didn't think you would have to deal with, or
Um, is there anything that surprised me? Yes, in a way. I suppose with I'd just say different situations, if that sort of makes sense. I sort of don't really understand what some people could be experiencing with their life. Um, so yeah, I suppose in that aspect, it sort of surprised me a bit.
okay? So what the kind of you didn't realize how much you'd learn about what people were going through, you mean?
Yeah, it's just about learning stuff about different types of people. As I said, in different professions and different stages of their life.
Okay. Any interesting phone calls you've answered?
Yeah, yeah. I told you about one a little while ago. What was it? Um, I can't. There's a really good one, and I'll have to
Really
remember it.
good. Is it the woman that thought she was being burgled?
Oh yeah. So there's this one phone call where she was like, "I have to move as soon as possible." I was like, "Oh, how come?" She goes, "My gate's been crashed. All my things have been stolen. We don't feel safe here." So they've been burgled, and they decided to call me for help instead of the police.
So we had to put them onto the police. But yeah, you will find that as you do more and more, we're not just agents, we become social workers, psychiatrists, some things
Yeah.
people with the police. Yeah, a little bit of everything really. Um, So I wanted to talk to you also, not just about agency, but just about you. And I will caveat this for anyone listening, but this isn't going to be well, Matt thinks his son's great because as Freddie will confirm, I call him a fucking idiot quite a lot of the time.
That's true. That's true. That is true.
But I will say your work ethic and your use of the phone completely goes against what the public perception seems to be about people of your age. So I forget which generation you are. I'm not sure if you're Z or X.
It's Zed, isn't it?
You're Z, okay. Um, and the public perception of Generation Z, and what I keep reading online is you're lazy and you don't like using the phone. And you're the complete opposite on the phone thing, in fact. So you mentioned earlier when you were looking for a job, you didn't just email from Indeed, you phoned everybody. Um, I remember me and you went to sign up for your college course. Your mum trusted me to take you, which turned out to be a mistake. And when we got home, we thought we put you on the wrong course. And so mum was like close to doing her pieces. And the next thing I know, I turn around and Fred's just on the phone to the college getting it sorted out. Whereas, me and mum were saying, oh, we'll email in. Um, and what is it about the phone that you're not afraid of? Or why do you think in a world where it's so easy to fill in an online form or send an email, why is your default setting to pick up the phone and phone someone?
Because I think with the phone you get an answer quicker. So if I have to send an email to for let's just say a job application, if they don't like me or they don't want me to have the job, not like me, but they found someone better, they just won't reply to the email. Whereas on the phone, they can't just stay silent. They have to get a response, and I just get quick responses. And I just also like the side of it's just human interaction. Just talking to people. It just makes sense to me. It's easier than sending an email.
So for you, it's just you actually do find it easier, and you just kind of you get to the point you need to get to quicker just by making the phone call.
Yeah, oh, 100%.
It sounds really common sense, but just not that many people do it. When you're like speaking to your mates, do they all text you or do you speak on the phone still?
Well, no, we text, but if we're like playing on like the Xbox, we'll use Discord for that, and we'll speak. But most of the time, we just text.
But you about your kind of general life when you want to get anything. It's like you thought you overpaid your tax and you again rather than filling out a form, you just phoned the tax man.
Yeah, well, that took 45 minutes. They leave you in a hold. They leave you in a hold for like 40 minutes, and then I got a letter through saying it was the wrong thing. But yeah, no, I just think picking up the phone is just it just makes more sense than sending an email.
Okay. And then again, just on the laziness side of things that people say you don't want to work. So you did say you really struggled to get a job. However, since starting with Charles David Casson, you do now have a second job. So when you're not at college and you're not on a Saturday, you work 3 or 4 days a week at the Toby Carvery, right?
Yeah, I work Tuesday, Wednesday evenings, and Sunday all day.
Okay. And what do you like about working there?
What do I like about working there? Well, truthfully,
Yeah,
the tips.
fine.
They're quite good. But no, once again, I'd like to think I'm quite polite. So speaking to people once again, it just comes easy for me. I feel like I'm quite confident there. Yeah, and it's just a nice job. You meet many different people. I've met someone who came all the way from Thailand just for a Toby Carvery. Yeah, I thought that was mental, to be honest. Some person who was like traveling around Italy, someone who was there celebrating because they just got custody of their child after 18 years. Just, just, uh, just different people again.
So stop there a minute. So someone who came from Thailand, someone's traveling around from Italy, and someone who just got custody from their child. That's quite a personal one. How do you find out that? I mean, they just eat the meal, right? So how do you end up finding out that information?
Because they're celebrating with a few drinks, and they're just you just sort of ask, is there like a celebration today? Sometimes they'll say birthday, and this time it was that custody of their child, which is a big thing. It's a very personal thing.
So see, this is the interesting thing for me is you don't know what you're doing there, but because me and Neil say this all the time, there is immense power. We've even got a podcast on this in curiosity, and the more questions you ask, the more answers you get, the better the relationship you want to build with someone, and basically. sales isn't about selling, sales is about asking questions. And it sounds to me like you are showing a genuine interest in these people and you're serving them effectively, and you're kind of keen and you're asking questions.
Yeah, I think it's good to take interest in people because otherwise I think you're a rude server, and you don't want that.
No,
Don't want bad reviews. So no, I just think it's about just taking interest in people, asking questions. Just a simple "How's your day?" Sometimes it can go a long way.
mate, that genuinely can. And actually, there's a lot of experienced agents I know that could just learn. So it is funny, honestly, because I don't think you think you're saying anything that special, but actually, that is a superpower. And you have actually had that since you were younger. Um, you've always been curious and kind of willing to ask questions and speak to people. And politeness goes away. Do you know how you end every one of your phone calls, by the way, when you're phoning somebody about like the tax person or the college?
No, not really.
You end every single phone call with "Thank you. I hope you have a great day."
Oh, do I? No.
Yeah, yeah, everyone. And again, just those little things do make a big difference. What's the reason you're working so much as well? Just because obviously you've got the job. A lot of people think, well, I've got a Saturday job, that'll do me.
The
How
reason I
come
work
you?
so much, just the reason I work so much. Well, obviously I'm trying to save it for
Mhm.
a car, and just trying to just save for my future, I suppose. Um, that's probably why I work as much as I do.
You don't fancy just laying around having on your days off?
No, because then I'll just do nothing and just waste my days, and there's no point. If I can just save a bit for when I'm 18, 19, 20, it just help out a lot.
Yeah, no, no, fair enough, mate. Listen, fair play to you. As I say, your generation gets a bit of a bad press, but and much as I do love you, and I think you are special. You're special in a couple of ways sometimes, but I don't believe you are unique in that. And I do think that people, employers, could look at your generation, and actually, there's some people in there that do want to work, and are hungry to work. But as I say, your superpower, whether you know it or not, is your personal ability. Is that a word? It's not your personality. That's quite dry, but your
You
your
can't say that.
your politeness and the way of people. And it is context because what you're actually doing, you do incredibly well on tips at the restaurant, and it's because you're asking questions, people get to know you, and that's almost the sale, if you like. They're already there to buy the dinner. The fact you're getting the tip, that's your sale as such. So, what's the future then? Do you have any idea? Are we going to become an estate agent full time?
Well, maybe. Yeah, I haven't. I do need to think about it a bit more. I have thought about something with sales. I don't know if I'd be. I think I might be quite good at that. But yeah, I'm doing a business course at the moment, so I mean, I'd quite like to have my own business like you and Neil. But yeah, I've still got. I need to think about it a bit more truthfully. But so
Fair
our
enough.
sales, starting a business, something along those lines.
Along those lines. All right, mate. Well, listen, thank you very much for joining me on the podcast today. Your first ever podcast. So,
No, thank you for
well,
having me.
no, well done for doing it, mate. And yeah, I will take this moment to tell you I am very proud of you. So we shall wrap it up there. Uh, I've been Matt Baldock. He's been,
Freddie Baldock.
and we've been talking Bulldogs.